Hello and welcome to Manga Machinations. This is episode number 500. And we'll be talking about Paradise Kiss. I'm Dakazu, and with me is Darfox8,
Hello, everybody.
Morgana Santilli,
Hi there.
and Seamus2389.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. It's happened. 500. So to be honest, I've been so busy, it just kind of feels like another week.
Yes, same.
I guess we'll have more of a fanfare and everything for the 10-year anniversary that's coming up in September, but
Exciting.
yeah, 500 Dar, the big 500. Nothing to say.
500 more and we're to 1,000.
Jesus,
Pretty-
I don't know, man.
Pretty easy if you ask me.
We'll see.
At an average of 2-ish hours per episode. It's like
Yeah.
1,000 hours of content.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we put out over 1,000 hours of content at this point.
Yeah, I think our average must be like higher than 2, maybe like 2.2 or something like that.
We occasionally have episodes that are like a little over an hour, but they're usually 2 hours or longer. Or
Yeah, well, the first year we had a lot of like 40-minute to 50-minute episodes. I remember pretty explicitly because our other podcasts would go way longer than that. So I was like, man, it's like these manga podcasts they kind of smooth, but
then we came up with Triple Dip, and then the rest was
exactly.
Fuck.
We're like, how do we like just make the podcast way longer and way more expensive every week?
Then you had another host,
That's true. More people to talk.
another person who can't stop talking.
Another
That's
chatterbox.
me, yeah.
I mean, we're already dealing with Seamus, but now Morgana joins. It's too much. I'm just joking. To celebrate episode 500, I want to start with an email. I have an email from our friend Chris from Canada that's titled, "Congratulations on the 500 episode celebration. Hey Team Manga Mac. No questions today, just want to say congratulations on 500 episodes. It's a great feat of dedication and passion to get to 100 episodes, let alone 500. I started listening to the podcast back in late 2016 when I got into podcasts in general, and has become a part of my regular listens since. As shown, often my most listened podcast to my... I'm butting over my words, sorry. As shown, often my most listened to podcast of the year. I would also like to say thank you for introducing me to a couple of my favorite manga, Freesia and Detroit Metal City. And the mentioning of many others that got me to click on stuff out of vague memories of remarks leading to curiosity, like with Prison School. Here is hoping to many more episodes. Your friend from up north, Chris from Canada, peace out. P.S. I always have fun making dumb email remarks like the peace out and hearing Dakazu attempt them. I know, Chris. I know.
That was very nice.
It was
Thank you,
very, very
Chris.
nice. Dar, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh, excuse me. I had muted my mic to open up a can of Dr. Pepper. But thank you, Chris, for listening to us for so long and for being such a nice friend of the podcast.
Also for buying us a coffee this week.
That's true.
Yeah. Chris joined the generous manga heads on our Discord server by buying us a coffee. You too can support Manga Machinations and buy us a coffee. We recently reached our goal to do a Land of the Lustrous retrospective. It's happening now, thanks to a donation from Philip. But if you want to help support us and help us buy our manga, go head over to ko-fi.com/mangamac. And yeah, buy us a coffee. Right now we don't have a specific goal. I just put up a goal for buying more of the manga for this year. So, and it's already on its way. Thanks to Chris. Thank you so much. Oh, but speaking of episode 500, we were doing a giveaway to celebrate 500 episodes of Manga Machinations. And we had several entries. I'm kind of surprised that we had more than 5 entries. But we had entries, and I put them into a one of those, what do you call it, Dark Fox? You know, the wheel.
Yeah,
websites.
It's basically like a random selection
generator.
Yeah.
So I put the names in, and I do have a winner of the 500 giveaway for the Manga Mac coded manga bundle. The winner is Ropen. Ropen left us a review on Apple Podcast and Podcast Addict under Warp Speed Molasses. And it was a very nice review. And yeah, congratulations, Ropen. Your name popped up out of the generator. And I will be emailing Ropen and getting their address so Morgana can send over her copy of Panorama of Hell. Darfox, did you buy your copy of?
I did, but it hasn't arrived, so I gotta look into that.
Okay, so you're gonna have to wait for that. I haven't ordered mine because I wanted to wait until like the winner was announced, and hopefully there's still a copy in stock. If not, I'll send you something else, Robin. And Seamus, you're gonna send them a Yuichi Yokoyama manga. Do you know which one?
Let's see what's in stock.
same situation as me. But yes, congratulations to Ropen, and a shout out to everyone else who entered the contest. We had friends like Chris from Canada and Xteen, who plays Mahjong with us, enter. We also had Dawn from the Anime Nostalgia podcast enter. I think she won last time we did a giveaway.
Yeah, she did, which was fun.
Mm-hmm. We also have longtime listener Neptic entered, and a couple other people as well. So thank you everyone who wrote a nice review and entered. And congratulations again to Ropen. You should be receiving your manga as soon as we get everything settled. All right, episode 500 is on its way. Because this is episode 500, I want to do something a little different. We're not going to be doing what you've been reading this week. I would like to celebrate episode 500 by playing a game with the other hosts. We haven't done this before. We usually do our manga talk, but because it's episode 500, I wanted to try this. I saw this. Basically, it's a variation of the board game Wavelength. Morgana, do you know this game?
I do not.
Okay. The board game version, you have this wheel and you spin it, and then like you have 2 prompts, like, you know, cringe or like not cringe or something like that, and then you have to like give an answer, and then your teammates have to like guess where on the wheel everything fits. We're gonna play a variation of that. What happens is one of us will become the guesser, and the guesser will get to ask the other 3 hosts, who all have a number 1 out of 10 picked. And it's a 1 out of 10 scale. So, you know, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. And so as the guesser gets to ask 1 question and get a single answer back from the host, from each of the hosts. And based on those context clues, they will guess which number between 1 and 10 is the answer. To give an example, I could turn to Darfox and say, Darfox, Black Clover character. And then if Darfox said Charmy, I'd be like, fuck, that's a 10. That's a 10. Darfox, Charmy is 10 for Darfox. Correct. So you want to ask questions from the other people that you personally would like. It would relate to the two of you. Like, base it on like the personality of the other hosts. I will go first, just so like we all get used to this. But I already have my questions. Like, I already came up with them. So Darfox, I would like you to privately message Seamus and Morgana a number between 1 and 10. You pick the number.
Roger.
Okay? So Darfox is going to send this number. I don't know what it is. He's going to send this number to Morgana and Seamus. It has to be between 1 and 10. And then I will be the guesser. And I will ask Darfox, Morgana, and Seamus each a separate question, and they will give me an answer. And based on that, I will try to find out what this number is.
Okay, y'all got your numbers? We all have the same number, right?
You should. You sent it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay, yeah. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm gonna guess. Okay. All right. So it's my turn to be the guesser. I had to figure out what number Darfox, Morgana, and Seamus are thinking of. So we'll start with Darfox. Darfox, my question is, give me a moment in the fable.
Oh, okay.
I'm not asking for a character. I'm asking for something that happens in the fable. That you would say, out of a 1 to 10 scale, is this number.
Right.
Do you want a different prompt? Do you want
No.
different questions
I think that this one fits. The titular fable, tapping his forehead with a goofy face.
Okay, so based on what I know about Darfox and his love of the fable, the scene of Fable tapping his forehead and making a goofy face, this is a high number. I'm guessing that this is going to be a high number. So I'm thinking something, 7 and above.
All right.
Okay? And I'm going to go on to a different host and ask a question, and we'll see if their answer is going to kind of like back up my first hypothesis on this. Seamus, you're next. Seamus, give me a unit from Company of Heroes.
Okay.
See, I told you I was going to make these questions very specific to my relationship with the other hosts. Seamus likes Company of Heroes. It can be for a unit from any Company of Heroes, okay? But it needs to be what you would rate on this 1 to 10 scale, the number that Darfox gave you. There's a lot of units in Company Heroes.
Let me think this through. I don't know, the Soviet basic infantry in the second game.
The Soviet what?
The Soviet, standard infantry in the second game. I don't know what they were called. They're like your Norman conscripts, I think they were Soviet conscripts.
Yeah, conscripts.
The Soviet conscript from Company of Heroes 2. Okay, Seamus and I know how Seamus likes to play Company Heroes. And this man throws men into the meat grinder. Okay, not as much as Darfox does. Darfox literally makes a bunch of bazooka jokes and just fucking like Zerg rushes people. But Seamus does like that unit. Now, I'm thinking if it was like a 10, Seamus would not have said the Soviet conscript. I think he would said like an engineer. Because they're like the best unit in Company of Heroes. They can put down mines, they get flamethrowers, they can do a lot of shit. The conscripts are very good. So now I'm thinking maybe around 7, 8. I'm dialing in my answer, okay? This is how we're playing. I'm thinking. I know Seamus. Okay, Morgana. I have a question that's perfect for you.
Oh, God.
Yu Yu Hakusho character. Give me a character from Yu Yu Hakusho that matches the number on this 1 to 10 scale. Remember, 10 is the best, 1 is the worst. That you would say is this number.
This is very hard because a lot of them are very high in my esteem.
Go with your feelings. Go with your feelings.
I'm sitting here staring at Yu Yu Hakusho artwork on my office wall, trying to figure this out.
It could be a very minor character. I don't care. I'll look it up. I will find this.
Now I have to see if I remember all their damn names.
You can describe while I can find the name.
Let's say Jin, the wind demon from the Dark Tournament.
The
Mr.
Irish lad.
Irishman himself.
Yes.
Okay, this gives me a lot of context. If Morgana named any of like all 4 boys, it would have been like 9, 10-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything else, Morgana. I gotta think this through live as we record on youtube.com/MangaMacTV. I
This
forgot
is
to mention that.
some Sherlock Holmes shit.
This is what's fun about Wavelength.
It's deducing.
Yeah, I saw people playing this. I was like, this is gonna be perfect. And I have the perfect questions for like Seamus, Morgana, and Darfox. I knew for Morgana, I want to ask you Yu Yu Hakusho character. Okay, Jin's a good boy. He's definitely above a 5. All right, I had to think. So I was thinking the forehead tapping pretty high. I was right, but it's definitely like feeling more close to 7 or 8 now. The question is, maybe I was wrong with what I thought. I thought the conscript from the Russian Company of Heroes 2 would be a little higher. Maybe it's a little lower. Maybe it is a 7. I don't think this number is a 6. I think 6 is too low. But Morgana did say, "Ooh, this is hard. I have to think," because I think she was mentioning all the main characters are very high. She's picking somebody like Jin, who's not quite as high, but definitely not low. I got Chris and Kanda in the chat making guesses here. The boys, all 4 main boys, 10, main girls, 9. Chris is thinking 8. I think 8 is too high. Okay, I have my final answer, Darfox.
Okay.
My final answer for the number is you guys pick 7. It's 7.
You dial that shit in.
Fuck yes!
That's wild. That is truly incredible.
I know Darfox and Morgana and Seamus.
I don't know that I'd be able to do this as well, but I have not had time to think about questions like you have.
I have a fucking wavelength connection with my other hosts.
I specifically chose 7 because it's like in between really good and like okay. You know, it's like it's becoming good. So like I was thinking that would be like easier than just picking a 10 or a 1, you know, which is easier. It's hard on a 10-point scale.
It is, it's wide. But I fucking know you all. Fuck yeah, I'm so hyped that I got that.
Are we gonna do another round or is it?
Yeah,
is
we're gonna go through all the hosts.
Oh Christ.
Oh boy. So we're at a disadvantage because we didn't come up with questions. But I could try and wing it.
Okay, you want to try going next, Starfox?
Sure, I'll try and wing it.
I can help you with some questions. I will pick the number this time. Okay. I'm gonna send a message over to Morgana and Seamus. Okay, I've sent my message. I sent the number to.
You took my number, Zakazu.
Okay, wait. I'll switch it.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay,
Well,
are you sure that was the
Yeah.
number you wanted to go with? Okay.
I was thinking about that number. Yeah.
Okay, if you're okay, we'll keep that number. I'll send it to Morgana. Hold on.
This is all context clues for me.
Okay, Morgana.
What was the number on that thing at Giant Bond that they could never guess it?
It was like 4. I think.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we guessed them all, and it was like, no, you didn't.
Right,
Morgana's confused. Giant Bomb, a video game website, did a video where it was just a contest. Pick a number between 1 and 20. Or 1 and 25 or something like that. And these 2 guys went back and forth, and they guessed every number except the answer, which was number 4. They kept going around it.
Yeah, it took him like
So
6
funny.
it took him like 6 minutes and they just couldn't.
It was really funny. Okay, Morgana, did you get my number?
I did.
Okay, so Darfox, we have the numbers.
Okay, you have the numbers. Okay, Dog Zoo.
Okay, yeah. Make it specific to my personality and between you and me that we would both know.
Character in Yomushipedal.
Oh shit. Hold on, I gotta look at a list.
There's a lot of characters I know.
Right?
Maybe this is bad for me because there could be a lot of granularity in this.
Okay, how much of the anime did you watch?
I haven't finished the second Inter High race.
Okay, so you probably watched 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah,
You watched a good amount.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay, hold on. All right, there's a lot of Yoimichi pedal characters. I'm looking through them. Okay, I have the character.
All right.
You're probably not going to recognize him by name.
All right. Try and describe to him his role in the plot without adding qualitative elements to it.
No, I mean, like, I think it's okay if you look at the character. I pick Nobuyuki Mizuta.
Mizuta. Oh, you sent me a thing.
You remember this character?
Okay. I do remember this character.
He is a teammate of one of the antagonists, Midou Suji.
Yes.
The crazy looking antagonist.
This guy is specifically like a weird banana riding he's desperate to please Midoshi-kun, and he's to the point where he's just becomes weird and resentful when Midoshi-kun doesn't do exactly what he expects him to do. He's like idolizing him to a weird extent. This makes me think it's slow, because I don't think Dagazu would ironically love this character. I hope not. Although he's seen a lot more of the story than I have.
This is my prompt. This is what I'm giving you.
Okay. Okay.
Perhaps you'll have to ask the other hosts questions to try and dial it in.
Yes.
Why don't you ask Seamus about Hong Kong movies or something?
I was literally gonna ask him favorite Johnny To film.
Yes, that's perfect.
Or not favorite Johnny To, but like what Johnny To film.
Johnny
ranks.
To film that represents the number.
Yeah.
That's a tricky one. I don't know. Is there one that I think would get this number? But I'll try and get as close as possible.
Okay. That's making me think low.
Oh fuck! What was the one? Where Good Man Goes?
Where Good Man Goes. Did I see that one? There was like 4 Johnny To films that you watched that I missed.
There was a lot more than 4.
Well, with the group, I meant.
I think that's the title. Hold on, let me look up the title.
Where a Good Man Goes is the title.
Where a Good Man Goes.
I have the IMDb link for Darfox to help with, so he knows.
I think the Wikipedia plot would probably help more. If there is a Wikipedia plot, let me check.
This is giving Morgana more time to think of her own questions as well.
Oh, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's ass pull time. You just ass pull something.
Did you see The Blind Detective?
No.
That'd be a video though.
Blind Detective. Okay. Was that Louis Cool?
I think that was Andy Lau.
Wait, I think I saw part of Blind Detective. You're watching this with X, right? Our friend.
Yes.
Oh, I should have changed the question. Okay, never mind. Okay.
You can change it. You can change it if you want.
Okay. I still don't know if this is gonna help me out, but okay, I'll change it. I mean, it's cheating if I change it because then I have two things to go off of. No,
Well, Seamus said the movie didn't really represent the number, so.
All right. Frequent Johnny Toll actor collaborators.
As in, wait, what are you asking here now? Like frequency of appearance or?
No. Like how you would rate them.
Ooh.
How excited you are. Like, oh, they got this guy again.
Oh, Christ.
Now you're making Seamus look up a bunch of stuff. Too.
I'm just going to look up, because I think they're pretty much all ranking like my top watched actors of the year in Letterboxd, so that'll help make it easier.
If you're looking on your browser, try and link me the actor. Once you decide.
While you wait for Seamus, keep thinking about Nobuyuki Mizuta from Yomushpedal.
Yeah, I'm still leaning low, honestly.
Johnny Wong Johnny Wong Wo.
Johnny Wong.
Jimmy Wong.
All right, Seamus, you're gonna have to be specific or like link a picture or something.
Okay, this guy plays villains frequently, doesn't he? Let me see if I got the right guy. Oh, okay. I had the wrong guy. Okay, so thank you for sending me that. Okay. I know who this guy is, and I know what roles he's had.
But do you know where Seamus would rate him on a 1 to 10 scale?
I think because his frequent appearances are usually pretty small, and at least like the handful of films that I saw him appear, he's randomly like a taxi driver here. He's like a cop in the background or some shit. Like not a lot of spoken lines. He appears frequently, but like not in big roles. That is my read. Seamus doesn't have to correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct. Yes.
What number are you thinking right now, Doc?
So I'm thinking like still low. I'm thinking around 4. I don't think it's gonna go that much lower than 4. Even for this guy. Even for the braces motherfucker you sent me, Dagazu.
Okay. Do you have a question for Morgana now?
Question for Morgana. It should be easy. Pokemon.
Ooh, God, there's a lot of Pokemon.
There is. I'm not really making it easy on myself. Because the more granularity.
Or I don't know if this is a good question, but this is the one you're going for. Like, do you know what Morgana would rate this answer based on her? Okay.
All right.
Or I have an idea. Like, I have a preconceived idea.
Morgana, you can also choose to help Darfox by, like, weighing your answer as well.
Let me just look up a list of Pokemon real quick. There are so many. I mean, you want like all Pokemon? Gen 1?
I guess we could do Gen 1, because I really wouldn't recognize much other. Beyond like Gen 2, I wouldn't really know what's up.
Yeah, I think the one I was thinking is Gen 2, but let me think.
I'm sorry, everyone. I took the good question of, like, Yu Hakusho character. That's the easy one.
Yeah, that's too easy, frankly.
Jin is totally a 7.
Yeah, he's pretty much a 7. They're like Pokemon I like, and then for a lot of the others I don't even think about them, so like ranking them is like a whole different...
Pick the Pokemon that you think best represents the number on the 1 to
Yeah.
10 scale.
So if I'm right, this would be like a mid Pokemon, but like slightly worse than mid.
Please keep in mind that I don't give a single shit about stats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a vibes girl.
Yeah, no, I 100% believe your ratings will be based off of either cuteness or coolness or, like you said, vibes.
All right, do you know Vanillish?
Say that one again.
Vanillish, it's a vanilla ice cream cone Pokemon, I think.
Vanillish. This is a Pokemon? What the fuck?
Yep.
Okay. This one might get it lower for me than a 4, bro. I don't, so, I'm kind of worried now that I'm just totally misreading y'all. Okay. I have all I can get, so I just have to make a choice, right?
You can talk through your process if you want, yeah, like I did.
Yeah, this guy's kind of goofy looking. So I think Morgana likes ice cream. I know Morgana likes food, but I think she likes ice cream. So it's possible she likes this guy, but my gut instinct is that this guy just looks stupid and goofy. So really, I'm still kind of thinking it's low.
What are you thinking, Dar?
Okay. I'm reading I'm reading Chris in the chat. And
Chris is saying 4, but actually he's saying 3.
yeah, I'm gonna kick myself if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong by off by 1, but I think I'm gonna stick to 4.
Final answer?
Final answer, yeah. Let's do it.
I'm sorry, Dar.
No, what was it?
The answer was 2.
2, damn. I was being generous.
I hate Vanillish. It's the dumbest Pokemon.
You asked Yowamushi Pedal character, there's no one really low in Yowamushi Pedal. I was like, I need to pick someone who sucks, but even like Mizuta is kind of charming. He's a charming idiot, you know? And I think I picked wrong, but I couldn't think of anyone, I guess the creeper guy who touches muscles is like maybe a 1. I don't even know how you would rate that guy.
Yeah.
Damn, I should have gone with him.
And I guess this the Jimmy Wong Wah
Seamus does not care for this man.
well, I guess if you're gonna rank somebody that low, he would be it.
Yeah, like there was another guy I was thinking of, but I couldn't actually. I was like, I don't know if I even like see this guy because he's not in as many movies and he's even in lesser parts. It's just someone where I was like, oh, I recognize that guy, but I'm not like, it's not like one of the lads where I'm like, oh shit, this guy's in it. Yeah, it's another movie with him, like. Or just like, oh, there he is, yeah, in the background as usual.
The reason why I rethought my question for Shane is because when I was looking at the IMDb for Where a Good Man Goes, I scrolled down to the cast and I saw Fatty, or the big guy who's frequently in his films, Sweet Lamb.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's right. So I thought that would have been a little easier.
Just how that movie ends was like, yeah, I was like, I'm kind of with this movie, and then it ended where I was like, I think that's probably like of the movies you've seen, the one I'd like the least interest in.
Damn.
The ending is just not good.
Okay. And Vanilla Shithead is just bad. He's just not.
I'm like, why? This is, and to be fair, there are a lot of really stupid like concepts of Pokemon, but a lot of them I'm like, this is dumb. I like it. For some reason, I can't get into the vanilla ice cream cone fighting on my behalf. This just seems, and I like ice cream. This has nothing to do with ice cream. Just like this is a weird concept. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Kind of feeding into feeding into like the concept of like you can eat Pokemon, right?
Yeah, that's a whole other thought. Like,
can you? Do they eat them?
They do.
You could. Some people want to eat him. Some people want to fuck certain Pokemon. There's a whole thing.
Okay,
online.
we didn't have to bring that up.
All right, so who's next?
Yeah, it depends. Morgana, Seamus, which one? You have some questions, ideas?
Yeah, I have a question about the questions. Can I be like, name like two different things and be like, which one is closer to the number?
Traditionally, it should just be, you should only get one prompt for your question. So you want to think of a question that that you also know the person you're asking knows about, that you'll be able to like get the clue. That's why I asked you about Company Heroes. You should only be getting one prompt.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go. I think I can.
Okay, Morgana, why don't you pick a number and send it to me and Dar?
Give me 1 second.
It has to be a number 1 through 10. Okay, I've received the number from Morgana.
As have I.
All right.
All right, we have our numbers, Seamus. You can ask us each one question.
Okay, I'll start with you, Dakazu.
Okay.
Musical performance in an anime.
Well, I was gonna ask this one or something similar.
Oh, okay. Shit. Does it have to be an anime?
I guess no, as long as I can like look it up.
Okay, yeah, because that would be easier. Don't limit me by, anime or
Okay.
movie or whatever. Just musical performance. Okay, I gotta think about this.
Like in fiction, or are you just including actual musical performances like a concert?
Well, I guess if I can find like a YouTube clip that he can watch real quick, that would help the most. But I have to think real quick.
This is taking longer than our What You've Been Reading segments.
I mean, usually we go an hour. We're like 30 minutes in at this point, so it's not too bad. We're halfway through. Excuse the burp. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, okay. Okay, I found it. And you know what? I can do it from an anime. Okay? Hold on while I go through this real quick. Just to give some context clues for people, maybe Dark can explain, but I'll do something from Carol and Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. This is perfect. Hold on. I'm getting the video. Okay, and I've timestamped this so the singing immediately starts, and you can listen for a bit, okay, Seamus?
Okay.
Okay, share. Okay, this is the live concert that they did for Carol and Tuesday, the anime, which is about two girls. It's by the same person who did Cowboy Bebop. What's his name, Dar?
Oh, sorry. The music was in my ears.
Yoko Kanno?
No. Yoko Kanno didn't do the music. It's the anime director who did Cowboy Bebop.
Oh.
Shinichiro Watanabe.
Yes. I guess I can post this in the chat too, so Chris from Canada can see. Well, Darfox and Morgana and Seamus
I feel the problem with this is I'm like, how do I actually judge is music good or bad?
Well, you're gonna have to think.
Should I risk this getting copyright stricken and send it off to
No.
the stream? Because I can.
No,
I
I
can send
posted. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. It probably won't get copyright struck because it's live, but just I posted it for Chris from Canada to see. For listeners, if you're listening to this, after we record it and we post this episode, just look up Carol and Tuesday Round and Laundry live, and they start singing around 45 seconds in.
All right, I'm gonna go to there. Star Trek Captain.
Oh boy, Star Trek
Great
Captain.
question. I love this. So right now, Seamus isn't sure, so he's going on to
He's fishing for my data.
Some more info. I think the problem with this question is there's not that many Star Trek captains.
Yeah.
Why don't you pick Star Trek characters?
Well, because then I'm fucked. Because I only
There's
know
like too many.
Yeah.
I can. I just basically gotta graph them all into like a vague line on a 10-point scale, and then kind of pick a wedge. It'll be like a range.
I mean, what if you did Star Trek main cast?
Even then, I don't know how much Star Trek he's actually watched.
Listen, I guess Deep Space Nine main cast.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go with that?
Yeah, I guess we can go with that one. It's a bit more data points.
All right. I shouldn't have to, but I'm gonna look at a cast list.
Sometimes you just need to jog your memory.
DS9 cast.
All right, Chris from Canada is telling me he doesn't see the link I posted in the chat.
I also don't see a link.
All right. It probably just doesn't go through. Chris, maybe you just want to open up a tab and look up Carol and Tuesday Round and Laundry live.
Never mind, that doesn't work. This works.
Oh, sorry, I just reposted the link to the host. There's a lot of characters in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Especially if I open up, if I ended up choosing like an extended cast member, I'll see if
you can find the number,
or if Seamus actually recognizes them.
Seamus, how much of Deep Space Nine have you seen?
I pretty much watched. I think it's the only one I've actually watched.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he skipped some stuff, but generally he watched most of it.
I skipped huge chunks of it, but I did watch pretty much across all the seasons. I didn't watch any Ferengi episode.
Bro.
Morgana, have you seen Deep Space Nine?
Secret best episode.
Some of it, yeah. I've seen. I watched quite a bit of it when I was pregnant with my daughter for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was just that and a lot of Frasier.
Okay.
I still can't watch Frasier. It gives me morning sickness.
Yeah, Dar really wants me to watch DS9.
Yes. You've tried, and it didn't work out.
I've tried, but the first seasons of Star Trek are usually bad. So
yeah, they can be a little rough.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna just pick. I'll pick Jake Sisko, Captain Sisko's son.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Have you seen any Jake episodes?
I see the vision.
Yes, I've seen some of his episodes.
It's a little tough one. It's a little tough, this one.
Do you have some guesses yet, Seamus?
I feel it's mid range.
Okay.
I'm listening to this musical performance, and I'm is this bad? I was I can't tell.
I've been there. I've been there when Douglas was like complaining about something. I'm like, it sounds okay to me. I don't know.
Well, Chris from Canada writing in some his own thoughts about that performance.
Trying to now, do I change up the Morgana question?
Oh,
You gotta adjust your strategy. Do what you must.
See, I was thinking, like, is there a question that could, like, really drive it one way or the other? But it's found, like, yeah, that's what I was asking about. Could you be like, which is closer to the number? But
that's like playing Is It Bigger Than a Bread Box? Where you
Yes.
pick an object and you have to, yeah.
I hope it's a food related question.
Oh. I don't even know what questions I would ask myself to arrive at numbers.
Alright, Chris is suggesting Sailor Moon character. Here's the problem. Seamus won't know the context.
Yes, I have no knowledge of Sailor Moon.
Like, he doesn't know Sailor Moon. You have to ask a question that you know, and you know the host will know, you know. That's why I asked Seamus about company hero units. But food? Seamus knows food, Morgana knows food.
I was thinking, well, no, I had one for that, but it was kind of that same one. And
Alright. The more I think about it, Dar, the more I think the answer matches Cisco's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I would have picked too, probably, actually.
Good answer, Dar. Good answer. Well, Seamus thinks.
I'm trying to think, does this one work? Seinen mangaka you'd be interested in reading more of.
Oh, that's actually good.
Or, oh, hold on. Yeah. I think at least the extremes will.
Yeah. This is actually a little hard. Which obviously I feel like eliminates the extremes.
If you don't know the names, you can just name like the manga they've done.
Yeah, oh boy.
Think about all that shitty seinen manga we force you to read, manga.
I feel like it like goes in one ear and out the other. Like I don't remember what I've read.
Ha! Fair enough.
Okay, let me think.
If it's hard, we can do another question.
Yeah, I have an idea, but I feel like it won't be helpful. My answer won't be helpful.
All right, why don't you throw that out, and then like we'll kind of decide if that's like helps or not, and then maybe Seamus is allowed to ask one more to you.
All right. Actually, I'm even wondering if I really think this is the case, but
Well, if you're questioning, then maybe we just get a
yeah, I think I don't know that I can. I don't know
properly
that I
represent.
yeah.
Okay. I don't know, Seamus, Chris from Canada has like a prompt question in there. Pizza toppings or something? Pasta noodle type?
That would be good if I had any fear reference to pasta noodles.
I think that's my problem there as well.
Yeah.
Go on, we'll go. I don't know. I'm not even sure I'm going to have pizza toppings either. Go on, we'll go pizza toppings.
Oh Christ.
Can I say? Is it 5?
I don't think we can give you that answer one way or another, right? We have to.
No, unless you want to call your shot and just say it's 5.
You just want to go off. You just want to go off of me and Dar.
No, I feel like Morgana's inability to answer is also like.
You could. It's okay if you want to say that, like you're thinking.
It is
5.
context clues. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's like. It's middle of the road because it's like that's a hard thing to answer if you're like someone you want to be more of because you just be like, like whoever like if it was like if you said like Asasa Ino or your man whose name I can't remember who did the
Shuzo
the murder.
Oshimi.
Yes, I'd be like okay or like
The 2 go-tos.
Both do once.
Yeah.
There's a lot of toppings for pizza, Morgana.
I know, but the problem is that I am pretty open-minded about what I put on my pizza. So that's
Think
even
in your
like
heart.
a.
What is this number? What is this pizza topping that is this number?
Mushrooms.
That upsets me.
Interesting.
Morgana, that upsets me.
Sorry.
it's a number 4.
Ding, 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 ding.
You did it.
You did it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge mushrooms fan. I eat them more now than I used
There
to.
are 10.
No, I like white button mushrooms. Nah, I like enoki mushrooms. I like some mushrooms, but for the most part, I'm pretty not a
All
huge fan.
mushrooms are a 10. They're delicious.
So funny. Nope, 4.
I like putting onions and mushrooms on my pizza. Like sometimes I just go for that.
That's good. I almost said there's just like plain cheese because that's also very like middle of the road. That's like the an easy. I like cheese, but it's not like exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just want a slice of cheese pizza. Sometimes it really just does it for you.
Yeah. It's a weird brain comfort thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are very few things I think of as not good pizza toppings.
How do you feel about like anchovies? That's a famous like.
I don't like small fish.
Mm-hmm.
They freak me out.
So would that be lower? Would that be like a 1 then if you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would never put anchovies. Like my husband puts anchovies like in the sauce and stuff like that. That's fine. As long as I don't have to see it. I don't know what it is, but like small fish, like smelts or anchovies or sardines, I just don't like the whole. They conceptually freak me. I love fish. I have no problem with the flavor or anything. I just don't like the idea of eating small fish.
Doxu, I have to ask: is this like a Bretty performance?
No. Okay.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, explain.
I mean, okay. So, Selena Ann, who's playing the guitar, she voiced Tuesday. She did the singing parts for Tuesday. She is very breathy. That's not what makes this a 4. What makes this a 4 is, for the most part, when they're singing by themselves, they sound good. However, the way Selena Ann sings, she swoops up to the note. So whenever it's her singing along with the other singer, Nye Bricks, it's out of tune. Because any moment that you're swooping up to the note, you're not on the note. You're not matching the note. And that happens like at the tail end of a lot of the phrases. And so it's not average, it's a little below average, this performance. Hence the 4.
You're just not a fan of Jake.
I would say that they use Jake very, very well. But as a character, he doesn't really fit in that well in the grand scheme of like where the show ends up going. And a few times, there's been a couple times where they try and focus on him in the later seasons while there's like big important war stuff happening, where his episodes just kind of suck. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So yeah, I would put many people above Jake, but I don't think he's a bad character, and I think he's used well, so that's why I put him like just below middle of the road.
Perfect. Well done, Seamus. Nice guess.
Yeah, 0
All right.
Morgana, you don't sound
I guess
enthusiastic.
it's my turn.
This is a situation where going last is actually like maybe the worst.
I feel like I've thought of some questions. I'm wondering how helpful they're gonna be. So we'll see.
Okay.
Go
okay.
ahead and do your thing. people.
Seamus, we'll have you pick the number because you haven't picked yet. So send. Okay. I got the number for Seamus.
Yep, I got it.
Morgana, we have the number.
Okay. I'm gonna start with Seamus.
Oh, interesting.
Seamus, classic science fiction work. Not let's.
16.
What's that?
Okay.
Should we stick with novels?
Books!
Yeah, let's stick with novels.
Books, I love it. Something that I don't care about. Dark
Right,
Fox also does.
I'm gonna say We Are About to by Joanna Russ.
What was that? We are.
We who are about to.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are about to dot.
By Joanna Russ. Published 1977.
Correct. I'm looking at
Okay.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Wikipedia.
I'll read it for our listeners. The story takes the form of an audio diary kept by the unnamed protagonist. A group of people with no technical skills and scant supplies are stranded on a planet and debate how to survive. Seamus has talked about this book a lot.
Okay. I feel like, I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like this could go either way, but I think I know where this is. I'm not ready to like commit to a range yet.
Okay. But you have an idea. Morgana has an idea.
Yeah, I
everyone.
think I have an idea. Now I have to decide which questions to ask the other two of you. I have some ideas, but I'm trying to figure out if this is going to be helpful.
We have Chris from Canada making some guesses in the chat already. Sounds like dumb people struggling it up Seamus's alley. Oh shit.
Chris knows you pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, Darfox.
Hi.
Shonen manga.
Oh, what a
Manga.
good question for Dar.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Let me think about that.
Chris agrees. This is a good question, Morgana, and perfect for Dar.
Sorry, I'm doing that thing where I'm just trying to chart in general line and figure out where this lands.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. When you have all of shonen manga at your disposal.
Yeah, no, but this is good. This shouldn't be too hard.
Hopefully this gives Morgana context about Seamus's answer as well. This is so nice. I'm having such a good time. I figured like this would be fun to do.
I'm glad you're having a good time.
I did. I got my answer correct.
Oh wait, so far I'm the only one who's fucking bombed. Oh no, we're gonna.
Are you gonna purposely get a wrong
if you
answer?
succeed, this. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay. So, I'm sorry for making so much mouth noises. I'm trying to split a couple of hairs here.
It's episode 500. We gotta give the people what they've been waiting for.
That good Dar ASMR.
Splitting a couple hairs here.
Go with your heart, Dar. Which one represents the answer?
Okay. All right. Black Clover.
Okay. So I was thinking this might be a little bit of a higher number. And I feel like that has given me, I think it's above 5 anyway. Or I think it's above 5. All right, Dakazu.
All right, hit me, Morgana.
I have a good one for you, but I'm
wait.
also wondering if it's going to kick me in the ass. Dakazu, non-fiction manga.
Oh, this is so good.
I tied it back to the damn podcast, people.
Hey,
Talk
like,
about manga.
we gave some.
I know.
You know, we were giving things that we talk about. They're in the manga, stratosphere. Chris's damn good question. Okay, I have to think a little bit. All right, I got it, Morgana.
Okay.
My lesbian experience with loneliness.
Okay, I had a feeling you might choose that. So originally I was leaning kind of toward 8, kind of at 8 or 9. I can't decide between them. Can I choose 8.5?
No, you gotta pick one or the other, Morgana. What in your heart do you think is my lesbian experience with loneliness, Black Clover, and what is this?
we
We
were
were
about
about
to. Yeah, I had a feeling that Seamus has mentioned this book before and was mostly positive about it. So I thought it should be more. Yeah, I think.
Chris is throwing some answers in the chat.
Yeah, no, I mean he's got a fair point.
You know the number depending on how much Dakazu cried? Please.
Dakazu always cries. It doesn't help.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm always crying.
We always out here crying. I'm gonna go with 8. Final answer.
Final answer?
Final answer.
I'm sorry, Morgana. It was 9.
God damn it! I was like,
You were so close.
8.5 was my final answer. No, yeah. I had a feeling you were all pretty positive on those things, but I was like, 9 seems too generous.
No, like I really like my lesbian experience with loneliness, but it's not a 10.
Yeah, no, I didn't think 10 for any of them.
I didn't want to say Until I Love Myself because that's a 10.
Yeah.
Or Ningen Karimenchu because that's like over 10. That's like a 12.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's why when you said that one, I was like, okay, it's not, I had a feeling you were going to go with that because I was already thinking it was in that like upper range, but not like top tier. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed by how close we all were.
Yeah.
Even if
Dar
we
was
didn't
off
get
by
it.
2.
Yeah, but that's, that was the most we were off by, and that's pretty good, I think.
We all know each other here.
Chris was cooking in the chat. Dar thinks
Yeah.
Black Clover is like a modern Naruto, but good. So he was cooking with that one because I was looking at Naruto like Naruto is like such an all-time classic for me. It's such a big part of my like shonen love, but it's such a tainted series because so much of it kind of sucks, and it's still going. It's still going. So
Naruto's an 8 to you, Dar. Naruto's like an 8.
It might be like if I consider this just a whole franchise, it might be lower, but like, yeah, it's I had to pick Black Clover, which that could have been a trick question, but
That could have been 10.
it could have been 10. But also, I mean, like a lot of people think Black Clover sucks, but like Morgana knows that I love it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was 10 for you. I knew it was high, but I didn't think it was like that. Man, Chris really pays attention to us.
Yeah, good job, Chris, cooking over there.
And there you go. That was us playing the game Wavelength.
Interesting. Kind of painful to play.
A little bit.
But definitely interesting and fun.
Yeah, I want to try something a little different for episode 500, and it was, have the hosts talk about like their personalities and share all that. You already get that through what we talk about with the manga stuff, but dialing it in and knowing each other. I got my answer, and Seamus got his.
Good job, guys. True detectives.
Yeah,
The thing is, like, my questions I felt were really helpful. I just couldn't decide. Like, I almost chose 9. I almost went with it, and you know what it was? I kind of decided ahead of time. I was like, okay, what numbers have we chosen already? And what number do I think we're gonna choose? You know, Seamus would choose now, and I just like predetermined 8. Just like it's like yeah, it's probably like 8 or 9. I don't think he's gonna go all the way to 10 or all the way to 1. I feel like that's too easy. Like one way or to pick if you pick one of the
10 and 1
extreme
is
numbers.
way too easy. Yeah, you want to pick a little below or a little above.
What would your 10 be, Darfox, for shonen manga? Is Trigun shonen or is it seinen?
I didn't even think about Trigun. I think it might be seinen for violence, but I have no idea. What magazine did it? Well, right in two magazines.
Young King or so. I think it's technically seinen, but
yeah. I was definitely thinking that I was charting stuff out in my head, right? So I was thinking, like I would have to give like Dragon Ball the 10, just for the personal and like cultural significance.
Yeah, I would probably get that if you said that, I think. Or I might think that was like a 9, like
yeah.
Black Clover was still a little bit ambiguous. Like I knew it was high, but it was still a little ambiguous to me.
Yeah, and I was honestly being like, okay, My Hero, I think My Hero is great, but like, do I want to even like rate it at this point? It's just like,
if you said My Hero, I would have known that it was like a 6 or 7.
Yeah, I would have gone lower.
yeah,
Maybe because I've soured on it a little bit as time has passed.
Bye, Chris. Chris has to leave. He said he enjoyed the time.
Thanks for hanging out.
See, with Morgana and Yu Yu Hakusho characters, Kurama 10,
Yeah.
Kie 10, Yusuke 9,
I don't know.
Kuwabara 9.
Yeah, but also like 10. Like,
They're just all 10s.
It's really hard. I mean, I don't think Chris was 100% correct. Or like all the boys are 10, all the girls are 9. I actually think like the 4 main boys and Botan and Genkai are probably all 10. And Shizuru's 10. Keiko might be a 9.
Ah, okay. Oh,
I like
was wrong.
Keiko, but
Chris is not leaving. He was just mentioning how he might play this game with people. Yeah, this is a fun game to play.
you gotta know your friends though, man.
Yeah, you gotta be tight like we are here on Manga Mac.
Oh yeah, besties.
All right, we played Wavelength. It was very fun. Thank you for playing, and let's move along. Before we get to our main segment, let's talk about next week. Next week, Morgana, you will be out.
Aye.
So we're actually going to do movie machinations. We're going to talk about a movie that's not, we've been doing Manga in Motion. We did Blue Giant and we did Inu O. But now it's not an anime movie. We're actually going to watch the movie Velvet Goldmine because it's directly related to our main topic of Paradise Kiss. And I haven't seen it. Darfox hasn't seen it. Seamus hasn't seen it. Morgana saw it a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Maybe it'll give us a little bit more context about Paradise Kiss as well. It's a 1998 movie about glam rock in the 70s in England. So we'll be watching that for next episode. Stay tuned.
Starring Ewan McGregor.
Yes, and Christian Bale.
Yeah, who cares about Christian Bale?
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be time to discuss our main subject, Paradise Kiss. Okay, everybody, we are back. It's time for our main segment, a one-shot review on Paradise Kiss by Ai Yazawa. This is Ai Yazawa's josei manga. It ran in a fashion magazine called Zipper, started in 1999 and ended in 2003. 5 volumes. It is also a sequel to her previous work, Neighborhood Story, which is something that we covered on a recent JoJo Showdown. Kodansha put out I guess it was Vertical technically, put out a 20th anniversary edition, because originally this was put out by Tokyo Pop, way back in the day. Gave it a new translation, and also collected all 5 volumes into a single massive book. I can't imagine owning this book.
Yeah, it's a doorstop. Though I have to say that I absolutely was asked Kamakopia to make sure I got a copy after I finished reading it. So
you have the doorstop.
I do not have it yet. I have asked Kamakopia to get it for me. So
I see. Okay.
but I have seen it before.
I bet it's a chunker.
Indeed.
But yes, let me give the localization credits for this 20th anniversary edition. Translation by Maya Rosewood. Editor Christy Fernandez. And production Grace Liu, Hiroko Mizuno, Shui Fan, Daniela Yamada, Nicole Deutsches, Jeremy Kahn, Anthony Quintessenza. I'm sure I butchered some of those names, so I apologize in advance. Let me read the copy on Kodansha.us. One of the most popular comic artists in the world, Ai Yazawa, returns with a 20th anniversary edition of the fashion-inspired comic that made her an international sensation, Paradise Kiss. This new edition celebrates 20 years since Paradise Kiss began serialization in Japan, and combines the original 3-volume release into one beautiful package. Oh, I thought it was 5 volumes.
It was 5 when put out by Tokyo Pop. It was 3 that Kodansha put out after that, and then it was collected all in one.
Okay. High fashion and hot drama come together in Paradise Kiss. One of the manga to launch the manga boom globally, Paradise Kiss combines stunning design work and YA-themed narratives that made it into a multi-million unit seller worldwide. There is no plot explanation in this copy. Holy shit.
That special edition shit.
Yeah, seriously. Alright, Chris is going to hop off of the chat so he can listen to this later. Bye, Chris. Now he is leaving. I guess I'll give a quick rundown. So this is a sequel to Neighborhood Story. So we have some of those characters returning as adults. But basically, this story is about a high school girl named Yukari, aka Caroline. That is the nickname given to her. She's in the middle of studying for college exams, and then she ends up being scouted by these group of teenagers working at Yazawa Arts design school. And they want her to be a model. And she ends up getting roped into their world. She ends up falling in love with the main designer, George. And lots of teen drama happens. And yeah, that's the kind of the general overview as they as Yukari decides to become their model, and they work hard for their senior exhibition contest, or whatever the fuck it's actually called. I forget. Morgana, have you read this before? I forget.
No, I had not read it before. I had watched the anime.
Yes, this has an anime adaptation done in 2005, 12 episodes. There's also a live action movie of this, that was put out in 2011 in Japan. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I watched it after watching Nana, And I remember not enjoying it as much as Nana, but I think that there are things about the anime that I don't it's a pretty faithful adaptation in a lot of ways, but I'll talk about this later. There are things the manga does that they just couldn't really get across, I think, in the anime as well. It's been a long time since watched the anime, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but we'll get to it.
I'm assuming you're talking about the fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
There's a lot of fourth wall breaking in this fucking manga. It was very amusing, and I liked it a lot. Like, they'll be like, oh, this is the chapter where, you know, Yukari joins, like, our atelier. Or then, like, George and Isabella are looking, and we're like, oh, did you see last week's chapter? I don't read manga. To find out what the plot is. Lots of fourth wall breaking, and I wonder if it was done on purpose because this ran in a fashion magazine as opposed to an actual manga magazine.
I don't think it's exclusive to this series of Ayazawa's. I think it's very much part of her humor. It's been a while since I read any Nana, but I seem to remember some of that going on there too.
Okay, I didn't recall a lot of that in when we read Neighborhood Story, so...
No, but so I think it's important also to consider the fact that Neighborhood Story came first, then Paradise Kiss, and then Nana. And I think there's a huge progression in the kind of story she tells between these three, and certain techniques that she uses. I've only read the one volume of A Neighborhood Story still so far because it was not in English until now.
It's now on the Viz app.
Oh, is it? Yes,
yeah,
no,
you
it
can
is.
read it on the subscription.
That's right. So that's another thing I kind of want to get into more is the kind of progression between these three big titles of hers.
All right, yeah, let's start at Darfox first.
Who, me?
Darfox, yes. Tell us about all 800 plus pages of Paradise Kiss.
Question 1: did you actually read it all?
I couldn't finish it. I skimmed through like the back third of it. Well, like informed skimming, where like I would like skim like a few pages and I'm like, wait, what's happening? And I'll read it. I apologize. I really I don't want to disrespect the shoujo manga. I promise I've also done this to seinen manga. This is an equal opportunity lazy host issue I'm having. But yeah, I just ran out of time. But yeah, I in general, like, I don't know. Well, obviously, I'm coming with this with like incomplete information, but like I don't know what else to say about it that I didn't kind of already say with
Neighborhood Story.
Yeah, Neighborhood Story. In the sense that like it's really like intricate and really like well put together, and they have like good energy, but it's like it's a really like busy book. It's like it was like it's a lot of pages, but also like it's a lot to the pages, which is like, you know, really impressive, but also one of the reasons why I couldn't finish it in time.
Yeah, it's really dense. I had like last week I was like, oh yeah, I figure like 850 pages, it's only a little bit more than what we read like in a triple dip, so it should be fine. It was so hard to get through it. I was like panicking that I was like taking too long reading it. It was fine. I read it all, but I was like, oh right, this is really dense work.
Yeah.
We read like 48 chapters for this episode. But hey, you know, we had plenty of time.
We had plenty of time.
Doing the Manga Emotions. Okay. Let's quickly turn to Seamus. Seamus, you weren't here when we did our shoujo showdown for Neighborhood Story, the prequel to this. Were you able to get through all of Paradise Kiss?
Yes, I took your advice and started reading last week.
Okay. And what are your thoughts?
I felt like the ending kind of left me liking it more Yeah, I guess one of those things where I was reading along, I was like, this is grand. Kind of like it, I don't know, kind of up and down a bit. I was like, okay, the ending I like. I liked how it ended. And it kind of, I don't know, made me like the whole thing a bit more overall.
I'm surprised. As I was
Yeah.
reading it, there was so much teenage bullshit that I was like, I wonder if Seamus is going to drop off of this.
There was, but it was like, I don't know. I feel like it ending with the two of them being like, yeah, it's not going to work out with us. We're just going to split up. Although I did think her thing getting with the other guy was a bit of like, this is like having your cake and eating it moment here, where it's like you get the like brief romance with the kind of like wild guy, and then you're like, I will settle down with the guy who's a doctor,
With the
and very
doctor,
calm,
yeah.
and like, you know.
So, if I remember correctly, and again, it's been years since I watched the anime, we don't get that after the fact stuff. We just get Yukari and George splitting up, and it kind of ends. And you get the sense that she's gone off and become a model, but you don't really get the like. She still sees her friends, and she has she has a fiance, and it's Hiro. So I remember when I watched it, kind of being like, well, that was depressing. I'm not really into that. And I was also in a very different place in my life. I think now I could accept that a little bit more. But I also think George is a more fleshed out character in the manga than he was in the anime. Because, I mean, this is a lot of manga, right? And a lot of really dense stuff. So the anime did not. I feel like there was. I mean, he's kind of an asshole, right? In a lot of ways.
No, he's a manipulative asshole. He's
But
not
he's-
kind of an asshole.
But he's also like a messed up kid, and I feel like you
Yes.
get a lot more of that in the manga than I remember getting when I watched the anime. So, the
There's-
context is important.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason why he's messed up. Mostly his parents.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I had heard about this because the Manga Splaining podcast had done an episode on this. I didn't read Paradise because at the time I still listened to episodes, so I like remember some context stuff. They have a really detailed show notes for that episode, which gives a lot of context and a lot of background stuff. I recommend people checking out that episode if you're interested in hearing more about Paradise Kiss. Very informative. But like based on what I heard there, I'm expecting a story, a messy story about bad people doing bad things or making mistakes. And I was kind of a little let down because I was because Yukari kind of sucks too.
Yeah, she's got a pretty shitty personality.
Yeah, she's kind of a busybody and she makes a mess of things and she's like very jealous and kind of like it makes sense, like you're excusing it because she's in her teens and she doesn't know any better, but I was more excited at the point where she ran away from home. I was like, oh yes, they're making bad decisions. Let me see all the bad decisions. Like I wanted her to go down that fucking like drain of like shittiness, and then it kind of leveled. I mean, if I'm gonna read a story that's gonna be about like people like that are messy and like making fucked up decisions, I want him to go further and more all the way, more extreme.
Then you want to read Nana.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is part of what I want to talk about is, from what I can tell, Neighborhood Story is a little bit more straightforward shoujo, happy ending, because you see characters from that in this. They're married, they have children. Seems like things turned out okay for them, right? In Paradise Kiss, you get much messier relationships. You have this relationship between Yukari and George. You have the relationship between Mikako and Arashi, which is in many ways a very loving relationship, but also has this tension because Arashi fucked up as a fucked up, stupid teenager. And he's guilty. He feels guilty about it, and that's kind of ruling their relationship, right? So you have a lot more of that here, but everything kind of comes good at the end, more or less. It's
more
a nice, more or less things come good. It's a little sad. There's a little bit of, I'm always going to kind of love that other person a little bit, but that's life. Nana is drama, like 110% drama. Everybody's making bad decisions, and Ayazawa really likes this idea of her female protagonists asserting independence. So Yukari did that a lot. She's like, I need to be independent. I need to like become a, I can't rely on other people. I can't blame other people. And that happens a lot in Nana. You guys just read the first volume, right?
Yes, and a long time ago.
Okay, so
the first volume mostly focused on the other Nana.
Hachi, yeah.
Yeah, and we were all like, this girl sucks.
So-
She's boring.
So Hachi, yes, she makes a bunch of really bad decisions. Her life gets real messed up. So stay tuned for that. But Nana Osaki, the other Nana, she is the character who is actually the Nanas kind of serve as foils to each other. So Nana Osaki is very much the character who's like, I need to be independent. And in the course of needing to be her own person and be independent, she destroys her romance. She destroys everything about being loved. She alienates people, and it really fucks her up. And Hachi always goes toward love, always allows other people to kind of baby her, and she doesn't want independence, and that fucks her up in its own way. So I really feel like I was talking to my husband about this, and so I'm like, yeah, like Neighborhood Story is pretty happy. Paradise Kiss is a little bit, more complicated, and then Nana is messy. And James just goes, what the hell happened to her while she was writing these things? Like, what happened in her life that they just got more and more train wreck as they went on?
It's hard to say.
I mean, I think she just kind of became more interested in telling different stories personally. Nana's successful because, it's really sexy. There's a lot of, we can talk about Ayazawa's art all day. She's got
The art's phenomenal. I
She
was
has-
expecting the art
yeah.
to be amazing, and it was amazing.
she has a very strong aesthetic sense. But I also think that there's the appeal of the soap opera stuff. And also for girls and women, a certain amount of relatability of this dichotomy between being your own woman, being an independent person, living your life not controlled by those around you, and then also feeling like society's set up in such a way that that's kind of impossible. And do you just give in?
If we're just talking about Yukari, she's in like a really shitty home life. Her mom sucks.
Yeah, but I also kind of appreciate I feel like there's an acknowledgement that her mom sucks, and it's probably like generational. Like her mom probably also sucked. Like it's just like keeps continuing on. Like they have Yukari is like, we're very similar. I have a very similar shitty personality to my mother. Almost like her mom can't help it. And you do get the sense that her mother does care about her. Because at first you're like, wow, she's terrible. She hates her daughter. She doesn't care about anything, just like success. And then you kind of see a little bit more like she obviously regrets doing some of the things and saying some of the things she's done and said, but she still has very strongly held beliefs and opinions about the right way to live a life,
I don't know, man. She like slapped Yukari when she came home late.
Yeah.
Even though she was like, I'm an aspiring model. And what did she say? If you don't want me to hit you, don't piss me off. It's like,
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I did not say she was a perfect parent, but I do think there is I think this is very much Ayazawa's opportunity to talk about how people are messy and complicated, and relationships are messy and complicated, and even they're not black and white, right? Like people aren't just solely evil or solely good. There's a lot more complexity to that. And I think in a lot of stories, maybe not Jose so much, but definitely stuff like for a younger audience, it's very easy to be like, okay, here are the good guys and here are the bad guys. And I think that Ayazawa is really good at complicating those and blurring those lines. Like, there are some really good people in this book who have done really bad things, and vice versa.
It's interesting that you put it that way, because my impression is like, this is mostly a book about like people who are bad.
I don't know. I think most of the characters are pretty decent. Yukari has like a personality flaw, giant personality flaw. George has like trauma. that he's not dealt with. But like a lot of the other characters, I mean, they have bad things going on in their lives, but I don't think they're like bad people. Even Arashi, I mean, the issue is that he forced himself on Mikako, but like I think he very much knew, like he was very much holding on to that guilt. It's not like he did it and didn't care and like moved on with his life. You know what I mean? He struggled with that, and I think making a mistake and hurting someone and feeling guilty about it. I mean, that what he did was wrong, but I don't think that he would choose to do it again. You know what I mean? He's not like he knows what he did was wrong, and I think
I thought it was implied he did do it multiple times.
I think well, Hiro kind of was like, and then you did it again. But then he's like, another time or whatever. But it's also like Mikako also has a pretty big character flaw in that, and I don't, this sounds victim blamey, but she also continued to allow him. This sounds really shitty.
Sorry, Morgan. It's Miwako.
Oh,
Mikako
Miwako.
is the older sister.
Yeah, I'm
the
sorry.
character from Neighborhood Story. Yeah,
Miwako.
it's confusing because their names are so
That
close.
Yes.
that's fucked up, bro.
That they have similar names.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
I'm sure if you're Japanese, you're more used to that kind of difference, but it's to my ears,
I
it's definitely
think-
fucked up.
I think they're supposed to be when they look very similar too. I don't want to say that she allowed him to continue doing that. That sounds really shitty. But she almost she very much brushed it off and brushed it under the rug instead of having a frank discussion about it, which is what they both needed to do from the get-go, right? They needed to approach it as like, this was not okay, and here's why it was not okay, and you crossed my boundaries. But instead she's like, I don't have boundaries, I'll do whatever you want. Which was not healthy and is something that she's done in like all her relationships with people. So
I also thought that when the other guy was reading into the situation,
Hero. Yeah.
the second time he might have forced himself upon her, he something like he hesitated, and in the hesitation she took charge or something. Or did I misread that part? Like I thought that section was kind of implying that after the initial
yeah.
forcing, it became kind of like a weird feedback.
Well, and because she wants to make him happy, right? That's her whole thing, is she just wanted to make him happy. So she gave in almost. And yeah, like she continued and they continued the relationship, for years. So
It's kind of similar to what Yukari does for George in terms of
Right.
like having sex with him.
gives in, relents. And I think, and this is a really sad and unfortunate thing, but I think that for a lot of young women, that is the experience of sex as a teenager or as a young adult, is like, I feel like I'm supposed to do this, so I'm doing it. I'm not enjoying myself. This is really weird. There's a lot of pressure and not a lot of understanding of how sex works, or how a sexual relationship could change an emotional relationship, change that dynamic.
Teenagers and their drama.
Yep, being a teenager sucks, and I never want to do it again.
Weren't those the best years of your life?
No,
No.
now is the best years of my life. I love being in my 30s.
Seamus, you talked about how like you like the ending. I also like the ending, in the fact that Yukari does not end up with George. It is the best choice. They should not have been together.
Yeah, for everyone, it was the best choice.
If she'd stuck with him, sure, she probably would have ended up with AIDS.
Possibly. I think George, he admits right at the end that like, the Seiji, was it the makeup artist teacher at the Yazawa Arts? He was definitely having sex with him as well.
Does he actually admit that? Or was
He
that
He
was-
makes a reference about like,
Having a
I've given
boyfriend.
I've given so much blood to him or something. Like,
That might have been more metaphorical. It was definitely at one point he was like, "I also have a boyfriend," and you're kind of left to like wonder who that is, and if he's even. And the thing about George is that he's full of shit, so you never know if he's even telling the truth.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Isabella?
We can. What do you want to say about her?
I think her character is really super interesting, and I want to remind you all that this book was written in the late '90s in Japan, and that I think that considered is a very sensitive interpretation of a trans woman.
I would agree, but she's the character that doesn't really get much out of like the whole group.
I don't know. She runs away with George at the end. They're like childhood BFFs.
But
He
that's
started-
only at the very end. Like
he started
throughout-
making clothes because of her, which I feel like it kind of places her on a pedestal more than gives her a character, I suppose.
yeah.
But I like her a lot, and I like how sensitively they dealt with her, and that like, I mean, Arashi is a dumbass and dead names her at one point, and George is like, "I'm gonna fucking cut your face. You don't talk about Isabella like that." Like there was like no like. There was no fucking around. Like Isabella was a woman and she was Isabella and we didn't talk about her any other way. And I was really impressed by that treatment. I do think, yeah, she's not one of the main characters. She doesn't have a relationship. She does have a relationship with George of a kind. But
Morgana, I would credit that to the this new localization though. I've heard tale of the Tokyo Pop version that was definitely not as kind.
probably, yeah.
Have you heard anything about the Tokyo Pop version?
No, and I never read it because I didn't read it when it was out originally.
They like the Tokyo Pop version gave Arashi a full British accent throughout the entire series. Like he was
Cool.
a Brit punk.
I mean, yeah, that's the look, but like they're trying to make him Billy Idol.
At the beginning, when Arashi calls George Joji, and then like George pokes him in the butt with the pool cue. What's it? Arashi says this. It's in here. Like, don't aim for my butt, you dang homo. But in like the Tokyo Pop version, it's don't stick that thing in my bum, you poof.
Lol.
Bollocks. It sounds the same either way, you Nancy boy. Nancy boy?
Nancy boy.
Yeah. Dar, what is your thoughts going back to Isabella? What's your thoughts on Isabella?
Yeah, I honestly didn't get that much from them, but I agree with Morgana that like it wasn't, it wasn't like a really cringe portrayal or anything. I just thought it was generally pretty interesting.
I was very pleasantly surprised overall. I feel like, and I think part of that is too, like Ayazawa is really into the arts and fashion, and in that sphere, when you hang out with people like that, there is a much higher contingent of queer people. So she might have a better handle on kind of that, the norms and things. I mean, again, I don't know. Yeah, the translation makes a difference too, but I do think that like. I mean, this is not the only queer character she's ever had in her manga, right? She's definitely, I mean, George is bisexual, so she in a series that's not explicitly like a BL or something like that, she was comfortable and confident in putting in queer characters when I think a lot of other creators would not.
Do you think it helped it because it ran in a fashion magazine as well?
Possibly. Yeah.
That was like part of the culture at the time as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if like the fashion scene in Japan was mad transphobic as well. Like I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, a lot of things are mad transphobic even today,
Yeah.
so why not?
Do you have an opinion, Morgana, about George and his bisexuality?
I mean, I am cool that there's a bisexual character. George is a bit of an ass, so I don't love that he's our representation here. Um,
Yeah,
especially
that's what I was
since
thinking
yeah,
as I
especially
read.
since he's like, sleeping. It's implied that he's sleeping around or he has slept around. And is very like there's a lot of talk about his sexual deviance, but I don't think that is. I mean, that's not exclusive to him in this. You know, a lot of characters are having sex. Even Miwako is like talking about kinky thing. Like it's just kind of teenagers being teenagers. Um
His mom also sucks.
oh, his mom's really terrible. Actually, I think she's worse than Yukari's mom. Because I mean both of their mothers are very self-serving, but she is also ready to blame all her problems on a son who had no choice but to come into this world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I have a real problem with that. Um, I think she's a hurt and broken woman, there are things about her I sympathize with, but I don't think she's a terrible mother, and she's not a person I would like in real life either.
Yep. We've been talking a lot about the characters because it's like the main thing and also the main drama. But let's really take a moment to praise all the fashion and like the art here in Paradise Kiss. Because right from the beginning, like Yukari runs into Arashi with his fucking piercings. As like I'm like 3 pages in, I'm like, okay, this is Ayazawa on full blast with her like fucking like character design and like fashion. Those like safety pin piercings are fucking ridiculous.
But that's such a like Harajuku punk of 1998 look, and
It
I
is.
love it.
Seamus, you have any commentary on the art of Ayazawa?
I was trying to figure out, like, was she tracing like photos or something for some of the backgrounds?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, you mean like some? Yeah, because there's some shots that look like they're very digital, but this is way before that time. Yeah.
And one of them looked like it was like one of them was like a cup of coffee. That's a weirdly detailed cup of coffee.
Yeah, I'm seeing like the scene where Yukari and Miwako are talking over coffee. The background is like it's a cityscape, and it's clear it's based off of a photo that's been kind of like
I was
worked.
like some of the I don't know whatever way like she drew like the clothing. It looked kind of reminded me a bit of like Gansatsu. Like it didn't like I don't know what she did, but it didn't look like how clothes normally look in manga. Like stood out more. Like I don't know, was it like the amount of effort she put into design or something? But like the way she did patterns and all, like really different from something like a Bride Story. Like it is very like elaborate costuming, but like it's not quite the same look. But I don't know, was that just I don't know something about like how you were doing like early 2000s, like how they were doing manga versus now.
Yeah, I mean, she is somebody who is fashion obsessed, and it shows from like her work. I mean, she drops names of brands all the time, in the way they're talking about various designers and brands, and using fashion terms. Like she understands fashion, right? Um, and I think that's part of what makes it look so different. Is I think she's also looking at, in addition to being inspired by other manga, I think she's very much inspired by fashion illustration, which is why all her characters are 30 feet tall with like legs that never end. So that's definitely part of her look.
Long torsos, long legs, long limbs, very
Mhm.
thin and elegant.
Yeah.
There's one thing I noticed here in this manga immediately. She draws like the sweat bead in the middle of the forehead. It happens to Yukari all the time. And I didn't think I saw it in Neighborhood Story that much, or I didn't like recognize it there. But here it's like everywhere, and like it really stood out to me, like the choice of drawing that sweat right in the middle of the forehead.
Yeah, and she's really good at varied expressions. And I think that that's something that I feel is different too between the manga and the anime. Like I think there's a lot more the fourth wall breaking. There's a lot more comedy in general in the manga. There's a lot that keeps it from becoming like a depressing hellhole of like people messing up their lives. And again, I don't think Paradise Kiss is that messy. It's messy, but it's not. It could be worse. It could be Nana. Um, uh, but yeah, I just think and visually, like we were talking about, it's a very dense book, and I think that it gives it a lot of texture, which I also think is something that I mean, anime is kind of hard to replicate unless you have like a big old budget. Um, so yeah, I was actually expecting to be a little bit more lukewarm on this because I remember being a little bit more lukewarm on the anime, but I really enjoyed this, and I think that, you know, I know this and you guys know this, manga's almost always better, so
It's almost like you're on a manga podcast for that reason.
right, yeah. I don't even watch anime anymore, I just read manga.
Oh, there's one person we haven't talked about because they show up at the end. Kaori, the clothing designer that went abroad. She's like a little older than George. She kind of comes in like she's like a a rival lover, but I guess like her position really isn't that.
Is she the one with the black hair with the like kind of like a short haircut?
No, that's the teacher, Mrs.
No,
Hamada.
she also had short hair, but it was light colored.
Okay.
There's a part where you skim through dark.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have gotten this.
I definitely saw them.
She basically comes in and she wants George to be, a designer. And this is at the end of the story where they did the competition, they didn't win. George is thinking about pursuing a career as a makeup artist instead. And Kaori actually goes to George's father and begs him to let George, be free. Another interesting choice, as opposed to like asking to support him, it's just like let him go, give him his freedom was the line. That like allows George to leave at the end to go to France to go with Isabella. Yeah. It's interesting, Darfox, because she appears and it seems like it's gonna be like, oh, George had like a thing for her and romantic rival. But her it seems like while there might have been like a possibility where they could have been together, it's more like she's like a rival in the sense that she it's for her career, for George's career. I make clothes, George. I know you're talented. I don't want you to give up on your talents, and I want you to become a clothing designer. Though Yukari does not see it that way because Yukari is Yukari. God, she's so jealous. It's funny. While I was reading this, I was like, kind of like thinking about like each character's energy and thinking that they're like kind of coded for like the rest of the hosts.
Uh-oh.
This is fascinating.
You want to hear like what I thought
Yes.
was who? I thought Miyoko gave big Dar Fox energy.
Okay.
I thought Arashi was kind of like me, being the one who's always like, "Oh, we gotta fucking stick to our jobs and everything."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then he turned out to be a fucking assaulter. And I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, but again, dumb kid doesn't understand the social issues of sex, and I don't want to excuse him for committing sexual assault, but I also want to make it understood that even when you fuck up that bad, that doesn't make you irredeemable, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't think that deep into Morgana and Seamus.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
It's because it's just because like as I was reading in the middle, I was thinking, oh yeah, I kind of relate to Arashi having to always be like ringing everyone together and be like, let's keep the podcast moving along. And then Dar Fox's Miyako like derailing everything.
I'm the mom, Isabella.
That makes sense.
Just
Yeah.
momming everybody. Seamus is George.
I no, Seamus. I don't think Seamus is that much of an asshole.
Sorry,
not,
Seamus.
not that much.
You're losing your edge, man.
To go back to a little bit of the art, you just a couple minutes ago talked about like the fashion and stuff, but like, do we think like a lot of the fashion is like some form of screen tone? And if it is, do you think that's like custom made somehow? Because like a lot of the fashion is like it's like on the fabrics and doesn't seem to like follow the contours with their arms and shoulders kind of thing. Like you would expect something that's like drawn, right? It's just like a consistent pattern. I'm just very curious what the process is of finding a lot of that different kind of patterns and fashion, because they need buckets and buckets of it in this manga.
So, shoujo manga uses a fuck ton of diverse screen tones, especially this time period.
Mm-hmm.
And there are, or were, not anymore, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different kinds. I mean, I may be exaggerating, but there were a lot of options for screen tone.
There were, yeah.
So I think that I don't know that Ayazawa would need them to be custom. I think she would just need to find something that she really liked and get a lot of it and be able to use it,
It's a combination, Dar. It's like they use the pattern, but they make sure to, align it so it matches like a tie that, the part of the tie that goes straight down the chest, the part that's the knot. And then also there were screen tones where it was just like stars and stuff or like flowers that you could just like add, kind of like you would add like an MS Paint. You could just add icons of like certain like things. Those are thrown in as well. Does that make sense?
So almost like a sticker, basically.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it does, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
And they're almost impossible to find now, from what I understand, because everybody's gone digital.
Was it a few years ago that Paro Itakaki was lamenting that one of the companies that she buys screen tone off of just went out of business? Or
She's
gone
digital too, yeah.
That was just like, that must have been just like 3 or 4 years ago at most. Maybe even less.
The thing is, like, you mentioned like these screen tones and everything. If you need to look at older manga like this, if you want to see screen tone that's like also scraped away. That's a technique too, where like you put the screen tone on and it's like the grayscale, right? And then you use a like box cutter knife and you scrape away the edges to make it curved and like to put patterns into it, like it's fading as well. Sometimes they're cut into like other patterns. You'll see in the background as you look through Paradise Kiss. And it's just such an impressive like art technique that's no longer used anymore.
Yeah, screen tone is so cool. And like shoujo manga especially, and this is technically josei, but shoujo manga again, of this time period and
They
before
excelled in this.
there's a lot. I mean, I have, old shoujo manga that like, and I think this is part of the um dissonant feeling I get when I read a lot of modern manga is like, where is all the texture? Because there's, there used to be just so much stuff on a page. And it's much cleaner now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a different thing. And I miss this chaos, this dense textured chaos that was, manga of the time period.
It's such a good way of putting it, Morgana, the texture, because between like the screen tones and also like the way like the inks were drawn with like a physical pen as well, they have like different weight to the curves of the line and everything. It's really nice. I'm also a big fan of the way Ai Yazawa draws eyes, because sometimes it's crazy. We've done a couple shoujo showdowns and we've talked about titles. And I'm like, these eyes look nuts, and not in a good way. It looks like a little overbearing, but it's they're detailed enough here where it's like pretty to look at without being like, my eyes. These eyeballs look like I'm staring into the sun. I'm being blinded by like the exquisite patterning of like the irises.
Yeah, because a lover was like kind of
Yes,
weird,
that's the
wild,
one. That was the one. Yeah.
which is impressive because that's a modern one. I feel like that's less common now than it used to be. The like shiny.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate Yukari, even though like she sucks, because her as the main character was way easier to deal with than having like Miyoko being the main character, because like that fucking gray alien design. Oh man, I don't know if you heard that episode, Seamus, but Miyoko, her older sister, which is the main character in Neighborhood Story, I said she looked like a gray alien, and I couldn't unsee it. I'll say one thing that's interesting about I looked at the digital edition of this Paradise Kiss collection. No 2-page spreads.
There's no room.
It was like, but even like looking at it on like your desktop or your computer, the pages were never aligned with 2 pages, which is kind of surprising.
She would run out of pages. Remember, there's so many like fourth wall breaking moments where like, we're running out of pages. We gotta hurry it up.
I'm just surprised, like even at like the big competition reveal where they did the final dress reveal, that dress looks amazing, by the way, with the blue flowers. Like it wasn't a 2-page spread, and you'd think they would totally use a 2-page spread for that. Trying to think of anything else that I wanted to say about Paradise Kiss. I heard some things about like the inspiration for this, since next week we're going to be watching that Velvet Goldmine movie. But I think I'll wait for next week to explain some of the connection. Starfox, do you have anything else that we didn't mention about Paradise Kiss?
No, not from me.
For you, Seamus?
No, I don't think you have anything else.
Morgana, did we cover everything?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys think of it. I mean, we've read all of Paradise Kiss, and you guys have only read one volume of Nana and one volume of Neighborhood Story, but I'm curious as to how you feel about it in comparison with the others, or if you have a preference for any of them. Again, it might be a little hard because we read the whole of this, but...
Well, I liked the art aspect of Neighborhood Story, because I like Ai Yazawa's art a lot. The romance in that seemed way more typical shoujo and just high school drama. And I didn't like the main character because she looks like an alien.
Poor Mikako.
With Paradise Kiss, I mentioned that I wanted things to get worse, and they kind of like leveled out. This felt a little bit more shoujo than what I was expecting. With Nana, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of Nana.
I honestly
It's-
feel like we should like dive deep. I mean, the problem is that it's not finished, and will probably
Yes,
never
that's-
be finished.
That's the other thing. It's like if we do a retrospective on Nana, we'll get to the end. It will just be like, well, we didn't get to read we read the whole thing, but it's unfinished.
And I've only read I think like 15 or 16 of the volumes. I think they're like 23 or something.
There's 21.
21. From what I recall, I think it ends on like a super cliffhanger too. Like, so not just that it's unfinished, but it's unfinished and you're like, oh
That's
fuck.
hard.
Yeah.
We did it with the Phoenix.
That's kind of why I have not read more of it, honestly. I was like, 16 volumes is kind of good. It covers what I saw in the anime.
Dark Fox, you mentioned the Phoenix, and it's true the Phoenix is unfinished, but it didn't end on a cliffhanger. It ended with like the wrap up of that story. So
But the meta story, though.
we'll never get the
Where
meta
does
story.
the meta story go?
Doesn't really matter that much. Like, there's like 21 volumes there to read.
It's definitely content.
I think Seamus is saying we should do a retrospective on Nana. I'm not opposed to it.
I kind of think like Seamus, if you enjoyed this, which honestly I thought you would, and then as we were reading, I was like, I don't know, there is kind of a lot of teen drama. If you more or less enjoyed it, I think that Nana is going to be like, pretty enjoyable because
Seamus
again,
liked Nana when we read it.
and it only gets worse. I mean, bring your tissues, guys. Like it's rough. Like
Morgana, Nana is not available digitally.
oh dang. Yet
Is it not on visiting?
probably not.
I don't think
It's-
it is.
It's older.
Checking
This has had it for a long time. I wonder if it's just, because it was probably never in the original contract.
It does kind of sound familiar. I'm checking the Viz thing now. 1 second.
Wait a minute.
The Viz Manga app.
I see it on Kindle. I see volume 17 on Kindle.
82 chapters of Nana is
Okay,
on the Viz app.
it is available digitally. Sorry, whatever I was
Oh
looking at.
shit.
Maybe next year. Maybe we should space this out.
Oh shit.
Future, whatchamacallit,
Retrospective?
Future goal, coffee goal. I think that's.
Oh
what
yeah,
Seamus
there
is
we
saying.
go.
Oh,
Wait,
interesting.
I was gonna say, because is it all on Viz though? That Viz app.
It said 82 volumes or 82 chapters.
82 chapters is probably all of it. Let me see.
Wait, it's on Viz.
Yeah, the Viz.
Okay, then yeah, we don't even have to do a coffee goal for that. We could just do it.
And interestingly though, it has to chapter 24 on the app I'm looking at. Additional chapters are rated M and web only. Please visit
Yeah.
viz.com. So chapter 25 is just start fucking for the rest of the time. Like what was happening?
You know, it is so much like in Paradise Kiss, there is some nudity. And there is sex. But it's not like explicit. Kind of like Paradise Kiss, from what I recall.
All right. We should probably do our O Creator Chambers retrospective first.
At some point.
But yeah, okay, Morgana. We'll do a retrospective on Nana.
Hell yeah. Morgana gets her way.
Hmm.
I
You've
mean,
been around here for we've hit episode 500. We might as well do this.
I felt pretty spoiled that we were doing this for our 500th episode. It was like, oh, we're breaking out the Jose.
I mean, I'm okay with reading Jose. It's just it's fucking hard to find. That's the problem. There's not a lot of
Oh.
Jose.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right, we've discussed future plans, so I feel like this is where we should start wrapping up. I guess my question here is do you recommend Paradise Kiss, Morgana?
Oh yeah. I mean, as always, if it's going to be your thing. But I mean, just to look at it, it's just stunning. If you like messy girls, if if you like characters who aren't always perfect,
If you like shitty moms.
if you like shitty moms,
See, not like I don't know how like to recommend that when like so many characters here are like not great, even though
Well-
like the art is so good.
they're really flawed, and I think that's much more interesting than a lot
But they're
of.
not flawed enough.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like you want it really, really messy.
I don't know, like a guy acts kind of like forcing himself upon a girlfriend is about as flawed as I want to read
Uh-huh.
like a character. Like and when it goes further than that, I don't know.
But it has
I
a
don't-
happy ending.
Sure, I mean, but like, we used to talk a lot about like last chapters or last pages in the manga. The last page in this manga is really melancholic. It's very nice, I thought.
I'm kind of with Seamus where like Yukari not ending up with George is great,
Hmm.
but then the fact that she ends up with Hyria was like, really? Do we need this extra
Yeah.
like happiness?
Well, you see, George is like the bad guy. He's like he's the guy you'll fuck. Like you're not going to stick with. You know it's going to be a disaster. And then
No,
Hikari's
yeah.
like he's the nice stable guy. You know, he's the doctor. He's got the good job. You know, he's like.
Well, but the other thing is, both Yukari and Hiroyuki are settling. I mean, they're not really like they did both like each other at some point, but both of them also were in love with somebody else at some point and are kind of still in love with that other person a little bit. And what I like about it is they can both kind of accept that about each other. Like they both know that like they love somebody else a little bit too, and that like is okay. But it's very like it's a very mature kind of concept for a story like this. I think. Sorry,
that's
go
kind
ahead.
of the ending in general, where they're all like, this Paradise City thing probably going to work out. So like, we're going to figure out something that does.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that little bit of realism because yeah, things don't always work out, right? More so than Yukari and Hiroyuki getting together. I didn't really care about that. Like, good for her. I just wanted to know that she was still seeing her other friends. Like that was important to me that she was still seeing Miwako and Arashi and hanging out with them, and I liked that. Like getting that, like they didn't all just like disband completely, right?
Did it
She
show?
was- It didn't show them, but they were talking about how they were going to this Christmas party and they were going to see them, and
Oh,
that
right, yeah.
and that they had a daughter, Erica. I wish they had shown it. I wanted to see the little girl. I was like, they're
She
like,
just
"Erica."
looked like another gray or alien.
No,
It's fine.
no. They said she looked like Arashi, and I was like, "What does a girl like Arashi look like? How many safety pin piercings does she have?"
Oh, maybe Arashi's mom. That's actually a mom that was not shitty.
Oh no, she's great.
Okay. I don't know. I like this manga, but it wasn't what I expected, or like it didn't give me fully what I wanted.
I kind of want to listen to this Manga's Failing episode to be like, well, what impression did you get away from listening to this? You were like, I was like, are you expecting to like shoot heroin or something like?
Well, they really did not like the main characters, George or Yukari, and what else? They also thought like the other relationship between Arashi and Miwako was fucked, and they hated Arashi.
I
So
don't think that's fair. I think that's a very I think it's a very black and white view, and I think the whole idea of this story and stories like it
I don't
are
want to
that.
put words in Deb Aoki's mouth.
No,
I'm just saying.
I don't. Well, okay, Deb.
Go listen to
Aoki-
the episode and decide for yourself.
Deb likes Investor Z, so I love you, Deb. Please don't listen to this episode.
Oh man.
No, but I think that the point of Paradise Kiss is that things aren't black and white, and people fuck up all the time, and relationships are fucked up, and that's fucked up. So I don't think it's a happy story, and I don't think it's an unproblematic story. And I think if you want to make a completely unproblematic story, you're going to make a boring story.
You're gonna make a typical shoujo manga with a
Yeah.
happy ending or something.
Yeah, and like, what do they want to do to Arashi? He was like 15. Like, and again, I don't want to it's not okay, but that doesn't mean he's irredeemable. There are things that can be worked on. Like there are ways around. There are ways forward. From making mistakes, from hurting people you care about.
This is all fair.
Also, haven't we watched some cinema in our life? Isn't there like just like we watch whole ass movies about like murderers or weird people, and we're not condoning it by watching it. We're just like, okay, this movie's either good or not, and let's see how it
I mean,
explores.
fucking watch John Wick, and you want to feel complicated about a character. He kills everybody, and he's the good guy.
Yeah.
But they all have it coming.
Yeah,
John Wick's killed someone's. They have it coming.
But that's the thing. It's
they had some tertiary or further connection to somebody who killed his dog. They're gonna fucking die.
You look into it. They were probably all pedophiles.
That's what the studio says to themselves. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's like Michael Mann is famous for having like character backstories, like whole dossiers on his characters.
Michael Mann.
I bet you every character in John Wick he kills, the dossier is pedophile, child molester. I don't know, fucking was involved in the Rwandan genocide somehow.
Well,
all
Seamus,
justified in the fictional world of John Wick.
Except for
Don't
Kevin
worry about
Nash. Kevin Nash is the only one.
Seamus, do you recommend Paradise Kiss?
Yes. Yeah, it's a weird one because like it's funny, like you're saying. As I was reading it, I was definitely going like up and down over the course of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
every
then when
time
it was
Yukari
like-
has a jealous teenage thing, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. It was kind of. It wasn't so much that it was like, if this ends up with them like somehow fucking magically solving all their problems between the two of them, I'd be like, fuck off. But then it was like, no, actually, no. Like it was no. I was always not doing the like. It all works out in the end. It's like, yeah, no, these people aren't like. It's not going to work out between them right now. That's what I kind of liked about it. But yeah, it was just hard to tell because I was like, I didn't read anything else prior, so I was like, it is a Josei manga, so like, I'm not expecting like shoujo happy ending, but you never know.
Yeah, and that is not what happens. Did I ask you, Dar, if you recommend this?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a poser and say, yeah, I recommend this, even though I didn't finish reading it. But
Yes, with an asterisk.
When you
Yeah.
when you said you were
Informed
opposed,
skimming.
yeah,
informed skimming.
yeah, it's I've read a manga long enough that like I go skip through the pages and be like, okay, so something shifted enough in the plot, and let me read like a page or half a page. We're like, okay, this is I think this is what's happening, and then I just gotta keep going because I got no fucking time.
But the best parts are all the little asides where they're talking about what happened in the last issue.
Yeah.
The fourth wall breaking is, I think, like one of my favorite devices. I'm like a sucker for like oddball comedy like that shoved into what is otherwise not a comedy manga. Obviously, I like Akiko Higashimura, so
Yeah, I do feel bad. I disrespected this manga. It was clearly very high quality. And I like hearing y'all talk about it. But from what I read of it, it was good.
Yeah, I guess I recommend this too. Though I want to read Nana for comparison now.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I want to read Neighborhood Story for comparison. I don't think I need to go back that way.
oh, I'm gonna read more Neighborhood Story, but
You want to see like Miwako and Arashi and Hiro as kids?
yeah, I want to see more of like what happens in that. I want to see if it is really as like kind of straightforward shoujo as I think it is, and then kind of I this is my pet theory, this progression between these three. But Viz is actually putting out another Ayazawa book, I think in August. I can't remember the name of it. Give me a second.
She's done quite a few manga.
Last quarter. This is a shoujo manga that ran in Ribbon magazine from 98 to 99. It's 3 volumes. I don't know anything about it except that, of course, I'm gonna read another Ayazawa book. I'm glad that there's more Ayazawa available in English. I don't know what took them so long. So I'm excited to also read this and see how it compares to all of these. This one apparently has like a supernatural, like mystery kind of bent to it, so a little
Ghosts?
Let's see.
That sounds fun. I don't think I've seen something from her that's like not based in reality.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like they might be ghosts.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
Yeah, I know that I'm getting it. Dan at Comicopia texted me. He's like, "Do you want me to put you down for this?" I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks. Thank you for paying attention to what I want."
All right. I think that is time to end our discussion on Paradise Kiss. And yeah, that's a wrap on episode 500. Any other comments, Star Fox, about like finishing 500 episodes of Manga Machinations?
If you heard one episode, we love you. If you've heard 500 episodes, we love you with all our hearts.
Only if they watch, if they heard 500 episodes.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna be a limited number of people that we love with all our hearts. Then I don't think that many.
I think that's how life is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people,
it's exclusive.
A lot of people you love, but like, how many people just like all in all of it? You love them.
Well, I love all three of you for doing this with me.
Oh, I love you guys.
Seamus?
We'll never hear it. Never hear the words we crave.
The silence is. He's smiling though. We know he's smiling.
Mm-hmm.
A little wry smile.
He's laughing at us.
All right. Let's go ahead.
Who's the manipulative one again?
How am I manipulative? I'm not like George. George is like saying stuff and then like withdrawing.
That's true.
I'm just withdrawing. I'm not like
James doesn't bother saying anything at all.
That's true. No, we pin our hopes on you. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I'm like the. Actually, that's what I was thinking. What's that thing where it's like, oh, I can fix him.
Yeah,
that's how I'm like George. Yeah. in this romantic comedy of this podcast.
I'll just quietly sit over there making tea. It's fine.
Well, then we'll just have to keep going to see what happens. Thank you for joining us on our 500th episode of Manga Machinations. We appreciate everyone who entered our contest. We appreciate all our listeners, everyone who supports us, buys us coffees. Thanks for sticking around, and we hope you continue to do so. Let's go ahead and end this episode. Thanks again to Darfox, Morgana, and Seamus for joining me. Shout out to Chris from Canada, who was in the chat while we played Wavelength. Thank you to anyone who has bought us a coffee to help us buy our manga. If you enjoyed Manga Machinations, make sure to continue to support us by buying us a coffee, ko-fi.com/mangamac. Or rate and review us, Apple Podcast, Podcast Addict, Spotify, wherever else you can rate or review. Please do so. Send your questions over to mangamachinations@gmail.com. Come join our Discord server, discord.me/mangamac. We're still playing Mahjong on Mondays. You can message us and come join us on that as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/mangamactv. Make sure you also check out our Mangamac Watches YouTube channel. Darfox is posting our watch-alongs of The Fable, Oblivion Battery, and Kaiju number 8. Our website is mangamachinations.com. Our Tumblr is mangamachinations.tumblr.com. You can follow us on social media at Mangamac Podcast. That's Manga MAC Podcast. That's for Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, all the social media. And you can follow my personal social media at DocZoo. Follow Darfox at Darfox8. Follow Morgana at Morgana Relina. And follow Seamus at Seamus2389. Seamus is spelled without an H. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Bye.